Oh, blimey. Getting very technical, aren't you?
Well, it's not technical, it's just, let's give you heritage.
Hey, don't mess it about.
I'm just looking at you from the side, that's all.
Well, next door, a couple next door, and when he was very small, probably a little bit older than Oliver, he was here one time, and I took him next door, and he clung on to me like nobody's business. And I always remember Joyce lived next door. She said to something like, come over, And what he did, I can always remember this, he went between my legs. You don't remember that, do you?
I remember it all now.
Yeah.
You didn't know you were having twins, did you?
No, we didn't. That was a shock, that was. Yeah, Margaret and Jean. Jean was born second. No, and they were born at home and all, they weren't born in hospital. I know the nurse came down and she said, can you do more hot water, boiling water? I said, yeah. I said, why? She said, well, there's another baby. I said, you're joking. She said, no, it's true. She said, there's one born and the other one will be born in about a few minutes. And I think Jean was then born about 4 or 5 minutes after Margaret. The worst part about that was the fact of having to feed them. Did your grandma tell you about the feeding?
No.
Well, we used to have to feed them every 2 hours. And, being at work, I had to be out at about 7:30 in the morning.
Was the ration still on at the time? Ration? Did you still?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh, no, it wasn't the actual food itself. I mean, there's plenty of food. I mean, they're running on milk anyhow. But the main thing is, Jean used to wake up and Margaret would still be asleep. And if Jean woke up, whatever time it was, we used to wake Margaret up and feed her. So Margaret used to get fed every time your mum woke up. But it was, I used to go to work bog-eyed. I mean, you can imagine, sometimes but couldn't get one of them to sleep. Used to have to walk the landing with her till. And my mate used to pick me up in his car, and I used to be absolutely bog-eyed going to work. In fact, occasionally, I was teaching milling construction, and my mate was on the next doings to me, next lecture to me, you see. So occasionally, if I was really very, very tired, I used to get him to look after my class, and I'd go and have a sit down somewhere, try and get cat nap for a few minutes, But it was hard going, that was. Yeah. During the war, he was involved in doing submarine engines. And that's the two of them in the tent we had in the garden. Actually, Andrew's mother and her sister used to go playing there. You've never seen the tent, have you, Andrew?
I don't remember it. Was that a big feature? Did that come out every summer or
I've
something?
still got it upstairs here.
We should get it out and let Oliver have a play in it.
Hey?
We should get it out and let Oliver have a play in it. I bet he'd love it. Are you looking forward to seeing Oliver today?
Yeah, is he there?
I think he's coming in about an hour or so.
Oh, he's not there yet then?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, because each time you see him, you see something, he's improved somewhere, you know. I mean, at one time, I mean, he wouldn't go to anybody. I mean, at one time, he wouldn't go to your mum. Then, of course, she used to see him more often. He started to figure out who she was, kind of thing, and he'd go. But it's only just this last visit when I saw him, where he's got more lots of shyness. Bear in mind, you was shy.
Was he?
That was my mother and me. We went on holiday up in Yorkshire.
How old were you?
Probably about 10 or 11. That's my father. And that's my mother and father together.
What did your dad do for a living?
He was a iron moulder. And then when I was 19, of course, I went in the army. After we'd done our training, we got shipped off to France with the British Expeditionary Force. We were evacuated in about 3 weeks after, about 3 or 4 weeks after Dunkirk. We left from Saint-Nazaire. That's when they got most as many troops out of France as they could, because the Germans were catching up with them. But I was at the other side on the west coast. We were involved with blowing bridges.
Wow.
Stop the Germans.
Yeah.
Stop the Germans getting across the rivers, you see. And then after we'd done that, we went up to Scotland, because there was a chance that the Germans might have invaded England, you see. So we were all sent up all over England to guard all the coastline. And then again, we were involved with building various things like tank traps and things like that. I used to go to the market and buy a load of grapes, Italian grapes, wine grapes, which we used to get a lot of wine out of that. But this vine here, the most we'll get out of this is about about 2.5 of them, 2.5 gallons. Then if you're making red wine,
Your feet to crush the grapes.
hey,
I thought you used your feet.
only you
Mum said you use your feet.
used to do. Well, that's how that everybody did it with wine. I built that.
With your own 2 hands.
2 years it took me to build that.
Amazing.
And that was the other one.
What's this one?
That was a racing dinghy. That's what I had before that.
Oh, wow.
Where'd you start building a boat?
Hey?
Where'd you begin?
At the bottom.
Is it, you start from the bottom and work up. See
Yeah.
it floats.
Fun?
What does it feel like when you put it in the water for the first time? Are you worried that it might
With
sink?
trepidation, hoping that it will float.
Hoping that it does.
No, you know it'll float. You don't need to worry about that.
Does all wood float?
They both got married on the same day. Together. We had a double wedding. Both got married at that church up there. Can you see it? I don't think you can see it, can you? Oh, no, it's behind us, just behind that big tree. So I don't think they'd had a double wedding in that church before. Oh, there was a church full. Because your mum was popular on the moor doing hairdressing. and Margaret was in the bank at the top of Shore Road, so she knew a lot of people. So the church was absolutely packed jammed.
So I remember hot summer's days when Nick and Simon would actually be useful, and I'd try and pretend to be useful by mixing the cement and making tea that you would always, take the mickey out of because you didn't like the tea I made.
True.
And I always tried to tell jokes, and you'd always told me not to. I'm not good at telling jokes.
No, that's right. Oh, actually, they all work well on that, really. Considering they didn't really know the job. I mean, they did very well, I think.
I think they enjoyed helping out.
Who's it? Well, Nick dug the foundations out, didn't he? But man, Nick was shy. Yes, Nick was quite shy. I think they were all a bit shy. I think Simon was as well. Huh?
Were they naughty?
No, never naughty. No, they were very good. They were very good.
They didn't play any tricks on you then?
They didn't. No, they're not. Nothing like
Still
that.
don't play any tricks on you, do we?
Eh?
Still don't play any tricks on you.
Why not?
The boss, isn't he?
He's the daddy.
The godfather.
Yeah, the Godfather.
Family.
Well, actually, we were coming. We'd been to camp in Monmouth in Wales, and we were actually coming back home. And when the train, it virtually stopped, I think, at Shrewsbury Station. Don't know why it stopped. I don't know the particular reason. But the station master had put a notice board on the platform that war declared at 11 o'clock. And that was the first we knew about it. Yep.
Did you know why he'd decided to go to war? Were you fully...
Well, there is. I mean, it was the Germans, wasn't it? They were squashing. They were walking all over everybody. I mean, the reason why we went in is because they went into Poland, and we had a treaty with Poland that if they were attacked, that we would go in and help. That was the main reason. We thought we'd be going in for about 6 months. Finished up 6.5 years. The main thing is, you see, that I didn't have any youth. I went in at 19 and I came out at 26. So all my youth, just gone. And I went from there. I went into working for the government, doing teaching like men coming out of the army or the navy or whatever, the services. They came to these training centres and we were actually teaching them the building trade. And then all of a sudden the government, the trade turned around and said, look, they were called trainees, you see. The trade itself, the building trade, turned around and said, right, we've got enough trainees, we don't want any more at all, that's it, finished. We won't employ any more trainees. So of course we all got redundancy. And Hildred had the twins, we'd got twins at home. So I got a job then. We started in business on our own then. This partner, so this guy that was teaching on the next benches to me. We started up in business, but with no money. We had hardly any money at all. It was a struggle. Then I got a job teaching at Stockport College. Because I was qualified for teaching. And he got a job. He was actually he used to play in a band, and he got his money through playing in the band. I got mine through Stockport College, but the trouble is they were so slow paying. I used to have to go and ask them to get me money out to pay me. I had no money at all. It was a hellish job. There was no money to spare at all. Anyhow, I think we'd better get going.
Alright.
I've got to pick your grandma up at 4 o'clock.
Before we finish.
Hey?
I need to keep.